Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Flow Within. I'm your host, Tony G. I have the incredible pleasure of speaking with my good friend, amazing musician, composer, producer, Jon Licht. Jon, welcome to the show, man.
Thanks for having me.
I'm so stoked. We were just talking about this. It's been many years since I've actually seen you in the flesh.
Yeah.
So what have you been up to?
It's been a little busy for me. Well, I moved to Colorado a year and a half ago, basically like right before the pandemic happened, which was an interesting time to move.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been, as far as like work, music stuff, I've been producing my own album, and then I'm also working with some other artists. So basically writing, and then work for, and then I'm also doing some composing stuff. So kind of just this and that, a lot of different things.
Yeah.
I don't know how that was as an answer, but
That's great.
yeah.
When it comes to producing, kind of like what's your process? Do people just send you all the stems and you just kind of produce from there, or are you like actually laying down other parts of the music to?
It depends on the project, but I'm working with my very talented friend Katie Stanley. So with this project, I worked with her kind of from the beginning of the project. She would send me demos,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'd give her my thoughts on just song selection, tempos, blah blah blah, and then so basically it's like overseeing the entire project. And then we did a couple days in the studio in Ferndale, Michigan, and then I was in the studio with them, working with them. I mean, it was her and her bandmate Vaughn, who's an amazing guitar player. He plays like everything. So between the two of them, like, they're just amazing musicians. So I just kind of had to like just make sure we were getting what we needed to get, and we had an amazing engineer we were working with. So my role was kind of just like making sure that we got everything we needed, and then I also played some keys, some piano. But yeah, so as far as being a producer, the way I see it is kind of like overseeing the project, and then right now I have all the Pro Tools sessions, so I'm gonna kind of add a few things, not too much because we got a lot, and then it's overseeing the mixing and the mastering. So that's the way I see a producer role, is kind of like overseeing the project. Yeah,
That's really cool. And this obviously isn't the first time that you've done production. I mean, shoot, you produced a song for me many years ago.
Yeah.
But you've also produced bigger pieces. I mean, composed and produced bigger pieces for like TV shows in the past, right?
Yeah.
So what kind of like drives you to more of the production side versus the creation side? Like, do you get kind of the same thing out of both of those, or do they fill different needs for you?
It's definitely a different thing. I like things about both. Like, as far as writing my own music, I find I enjoy that for different reasons. I think it helps me kind of like express myself creatively, but then I do enjoy producing because I can help other people kind of bring their creations to life. So I think it's, and as far as like producing stuff for TV, so if I'm writing, working on a score, I guess it's a different kind of producing. I guess I'm producing the music, so I'm creating it and making, adding different instruments and kind of like bringing it to life. So I guess it's similar in ways, but I don't know if I got off track here, but producing and writing, creating, I think are different, but similar in ways, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I think that's really cool. I think that it takes a lot of talent to be able to kind of find an emotion or find like a specific sound that you're kind of searching for, and then creating something that emulates that feeling.
Right.
So what was that like because it was the TV show Dexter,
right,
that you wrote a song for? What was that like when they came to you and they were like, okay, we want a song? How did that whole process work?
So I worked with my uncle, who was a composer for 30 plus years. And I started working with him because I had written some songs in high school and produced them on my own, like in Cubase. And he just kind of liked the way that I was producing stuff. And so he kind of brought me on. I worked as his assistant for a while, and then he got the show Dexter. So I was kind of involved from the beginning on that show. with writing, and then if they needed songs, I wrote a few songs for it. So basically it'd be like, we have this scene or this moment and we were picturing a song, like what's your take on it? So I would like just demo different things and then find something that they would like. And once we had the song, then it goes to, you know, actually like producing the song. So it depends on what the scene needs, you know, and so it's like looking at the scene and what they're trying to accomplish, and then finding something that kind of elevates the moment. Yeah.
That's so cool. There's been so many times when I've been watching a TV show and I'll hear a song come on and I'm like, I have to find out who does this song, because it's such like, it's not just the song itself. If it was the song by itself, then it'd probably be pretty good. But because it's the song at that specific time in the show, I think it just really meshes together really, really well.
Yeah. I think music can be very powerful. Just kind of like taking these moments and amplifying them or bringing them up and really helping the audience connect with a character or a moment or whatever. So used correctly, I think it can be really powerful. I think a lot of times in TV, it can get overused. As far as the score, like they can just put music throughout the whole thing and it starts losing its power. But it can definitely be a very like powerful tool. Yeah. Used correctly.
That's so cool. I'm kind of jealous that you're just like, yeah, just, you know, I got a song for Dexter. No worry, no big deal.
Well, I was lucky to have that. I mean, my uncle was a composer, so it's like, you know, I can't take all the credit. I mean, he did like see something in me, and like I think I definitely contributed, but I was definitely lucky to have that opportunity for sure.
Well, that's great. It's always fun when your talent gets recognized and you get to just kind of let yourself fly. That's really cool. So when it comes to writing your own music, do you kind of take a similar approach? I mean, like in a TV show, you're trying to emulate a specific emotion or scene. Do you kind of do that when you're writing your own stuff too? Do you kind of pick specific topics? Do you kind of let the music come to you? Or
that's a good question. I think a lot of times, sometimes I'll have like an idea for a song, or like I want to write a song about this or that. But I guess it just depends, like kind of like where I'm at mentally at that point. Like I kind of just let it flow. Sometimes I'll have like, I want to write a song about this or that. It does help to have like direction going in, I think. I've found like, and so it helps if you're writing for like a scene in a TV show or something. But I find that usually I don't have like a lot of, if it's just like something I'm writing for myself, I don't have as much direction. I kind of just like go with the flow and like, it'd be cool. And then usually I will do the music and then I'll work on the lyrics. So it's a little bit more of a, not as like focused, I don't think.
Yeah. Do you ever think about your life as a TV show? Like, what would Jon's theme song sound like right now at this time?
It's probably a good way to think about it. Yeah, for sure.
That's kind of always how I've written. It's just like, oh, I have some pretty strong emotions right now, so I'm going to write about, this.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good way to think about it, for sure.
So what have you been writing lately? Like because you said you're working on a new album. What kind of material is going into this?
Yeah, so I had, basically I have like 2 quarantine albums that I wrote, and the first one's finished. The second one is like 99% finished. We're just finishing the mixes right now. And I don't know, like, you mean like what's the content, or
yeah, like just like what kind of direction are you going in?
Stylistically, or that's a good question. I'm terrible at like describing my music. I'm kind of all over the map. Like my genre, like I kind of like weave between different lanes as far as like genres. I mean, it's like singer-songwriter, kind of like indie, in that vein, I guess. But and I guess it does have a lot of, because I do a lot of score stuff, I think that kind of bleeds in, where it's like different styles and different like on this last record I did a couple with like sitar and like which is kind of cool. But I like to like bring in some like different eclectic kind of sounds and but it might be good to like focus a little bit. But I'm kind of all over the map.
Nah, man, just go where the music takes you.
Yeah.
Excuse me. What about What was like your creative process like? What was it like recording these albums during quarantine versus albums that you've recorded in the past?
It wasn't like super different, but basically I would, kind of write them at home, and then I did a lot of remote recording. So I don't know if you know Fiverr.
Yeah.
But I used Fiverr a lot. Like I have a drummer that I met on there that I use a good amount, like remote. So for remote drumming, so it would be not super different because it's kind of similar to my process before. Less like so for the first album was a lot, basically all remote recording. This last one, because it was like kind of post COVID. Is that good?
Yeah.
Because it was kind of like not post-COVID, but at least like things are getting better. We did a couple days in the studio, so we did live drums and some guitars. But for the first one, it was definitely interesting to get to like have people recording all over the world, like recording the drums in the UK. I had a saxophone player in Australia, I think.
That's so cool.
And
modern technology.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then I have a guy, Henrik Astrom, who's a composer and producer and engineer in LA that I worked with a lot. So I've been working with him. So he'll kind of rein me in and then do the mixing and mastering and stuff. So that helped. But it was definitely interesting time to be making music. Although for me, my life didn't change like that much because I'm always at home just like working. So I was like, this doesn't seem that different. Yeah.
I just can't go outside as much.
I mean, I did a lot of hiking, which was good.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so that kind of kept me from going too crazy. But yeah.
So now a lot of our listeners might not know this, but when we go into the studio as musicians, there are multiple types of people that like to record. But when I record, I have such a hard time making my guitar and vocals sound the way that I want them to when I have to do a track by myself, just like listening to a scratch track, as it were. So do you find any difference like that? Because you said that you had your whole entire album kind of outsourced to all these different spots in the world. Did you find that it kind of sounded a little bit differently than versus if you had a whole conglomerate of musicians kind of in the same room all playing together?
Do you mean like the actual like recording quality of it?
Well, not the quality, like the feel.
The feel of it?
Yeah.
I would do a lot of the guitars on my own, but yeah, it's harder when you're recording, I think, this person there to get that kind of like sound, that feel of like people in a room playing together. It's definitely hard to emulate that. So I think if you can get a group of musicians in the same room playing, tracking together, I think that's always the best because you get that live feel. And I think that helps people connect more to the music.
Yeah.
Is having that kind of like that live feel for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite things is like recording the scratch tracks, everybody together and just jamming, and just getting the feel out of it because you get a different groove, you get a different energy out of it.
Definitely. If you can I think that's the best way for sure. I mean, you can kind of emulate that, but if you can get everybody together and a lot of rehearsing helps, but if you get your band together and you can just get them in the studio, I mean, I've recorded whole albums in like 2 days, basically. If you're like well rehearsed, then you can. I mean, that's kind of what you have to do now because studio time's expensive and like budgets are small. Like if you're an independent artist, then you're basically have no budget. So it's like, you kind of got to be well prepared, but a lot of times you don't have that luxury to have like your whole band together. But yeah,
no, that's great advice. Don't cut corners. I mean. Stretch your budget as much as you can because there's nothing worse than leaving a studio after 2 or 3 days and being like, if only, we would have spent 3 more hours recording this stuff. So it's, whatever your budget is, think maybe a little bit more than that because you're always going to need like one more track. Like, oh, we should have doubled that guitar. Or, something of the sort.
Yeah, definitely.
So what do you plan on doing now? So you recorded one album that's completed. You're 99% done on this next album.
Yep.
Are you trying to put together an outfit to be able to play around town, or are you mostly just hitting the online scene?
I would like to perform. I'm a little tired from.
Yeah.
I've been gigging for over 10 years.
Yeah.
But ultimately, maybe it's one of my favorite things to do. So I'd love to do that. But, I'd like to. Yeah, maybe build something online because I feel like that's kind of what you have to do now is like build your online presence and then you can tour. It's like, but my plan That's a good question. That's a great question. What is my plan?
Talk us through it, man.
I have a huge plan. I have a binder full of bullet notes. And no, I'm just kidding. I'm terrible at. I'm good at making music, I think, but as far as the rest of it, not that great at that. But I'm trying to get better at doing the marketing stuff. So my plan is still in the works. But yeah, I think working on the marketing stuff is definitely one of my goals for sure. Yeah.
That's great. Marketing is by far, in my opinion, the least fun part of being a musician. For
sure. I think it's good to find, if you can find someone who does that, you know, every day. And I think that's huge. Like find someone to help you with doing that. But yeah, marketing, you kind of got to put as much effort into marketing, if not more, than into making the music, because there's so much music out there and it can just get lost in everything. I think if you don't put that effort into marketing, for sure.
Definitely agree there. It's just like a brand new world. You know, you see a lot of people that are talented get huge, and people that are super talented just go right under the radar. And it's all just a game of marketing. It's a game of numbers, and
you can get lost in the noise, for sure.
So you were saying earlier that gigging means a lot to you, or just like playing out. How long has it been since you've played a live gig?
I played a show in June at Hotel Cafe in L.A.
Is that where we played when I was out there?
No, are you talking about Molly Malone's? Or
no, but we played a bar, just like a random. You had like a 3-hour slot, and I just showed up and.
Oh, that was me and my friend Paul, who I was in a band called the Roustabouts. We had a weekly gig at this bar called Bigfoot West in Palms. That's probably what you're thinking of?
Probably.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. I have a terrible memory. But yeah, so that was the last show, was at Hotel Cafe, which is one of my favorite venues in LA. So it's fun to play.
That's really cool.
I played there a few times, but I would like to. I'd like to explore Denver's, live music scene, and got some great venues here for sure. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to playing some music in Denver for sure.
Well, let's chat about that after the show for sure. Because I'm always down to play with other musicians. I've just been doing a lot of solo stuff, so it'd be good to
definitely
again. So, having not played so much and kind of having been quarantined and producing all this music, like, has that kind of changed your outlook on how you approach music, like not being able to gig as much, or has it been a nice reset, or do you like miss it a whole bunch?
It's been a good reset for sure. Kind of focusing on the music and not worrying about, gigging and promoting your gigs. I think it's been kind of nice to not have that pressure. But I think it's good to get out and play and connect with people. So it'll be good to kind of like to get out, and even if it's just going to shows. But yeah, it's been a good like, because I feel like when you're playing, when you have a band, there's so much pressure to like bring people and do this and promote. So it's been nice to not have that pressure. But yeah,
that's cool. I'm definitely in that same vein where like, if for me, if I don't do it for a while and then I see somebody else play live, then I just get that itch.
Yep.
So bad.
For sure. It's definitely one of the most fun things to do as a musician, is to play live.
So what got you into music in the first place? You were talking about that you produced a couple albums in high school, or songs in high school?
No, it was like an EP. It was just like some rap music.
Really?
Yep.
I would like to listen to this. I have never heard you doing any rapping.
It was basically just me trying to make my friends laugh. Like I would smoke weed and then like make beats in my room, but I really enjoyed like the producing aspect of it. But that's kind of like what got me the job with my uncle, was like the production stuff that I had done. He just liked, and the songwriting he kind of recognized. But I've always been, like, my dad's side and my mom's side is very musical, so I've always been involved in music. I started piano when I was really young, and then I was involved in like band and choir, and then so yeah, music's always been like a big part of my life for sure. And then songwriting, something that I kind of got into in high school, and then working with my uncle kind of like got me into doing music like professionally. But I've always been, just music has been kind of just part of my life for my entire life, pretty much.
Do you use music as like as an outlet sometimes, or have you? I mean, since it's been such a big part of your life, how else does it play into your life instead of just like the creation process? Like, is it more like spiritual to you by any means, or like what does music really like? What kind of needs does it fulfill for you?
I think it helps me. I think it's almost like a therapy for me because, I think it's a way for me to express myself. It's a way for me to like relax. Like playing music is like, I think, relaxing for everyone to, I think everyone should try it. So I think, yeah, probably just a way for me to kind of like, take a break from the craziness of life and like just kind of escape.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Have you been using it a lot more recently, or is it just like, has it just kind of always been that way with your music, or did it kind of evolve over time how you used your music?
That's a good question. I don't know if it's changed. I think I've gotten a little burnt out in general because I've been doing music because I started doing it as a job.
Yeah.
So I've been a bit burnt out. So maybe using it a little bit less, like playing just to play less. So it's changed in that way, I think.
What are you doing to help address that the burnout kind of sensations?
That's a good question. Focusing on other things, like learning other skills and producing other people. Kind of like I'm working with my friend Katie. It's kind of nice to like kind of take a different role.
Yeah.
And helping other people produce their music and that's kind of been good to kind of, I think if you're feeling burnt out, then it's good to like switch it up and do something different. I think that can help you, and it'll help you in your kind of gain some perspective on your whatever your struggles are, your writer's block or whatever. So whether it's like learning to draw or doing something different. So I just try to like, like learn a new skill or do something different, take a different role, or try to write a different kind of music, or just kind of shake things up a little bit.
That's great. Have you been feeling more inspired recently after taking a little bit of a break? Has that drive been coming back to create?
I think for me, quarantine was good in that because I was like basically trapped at home, it forced me to write. So that was kind of good to get a kind of a reset. Because before that, that's kind of why I left LA, because I was just kind of burnt and like tired of, like, I'd lived there for 20 years. So I think quarantine was a good kind of like reset, like helped me kind of like find some new inspiration and stuff. So yeah, I think I'm feeling a bit less burnt out right now. So
that's great.
Yeah.
You know, I feel the same way. I started doing music full time, gosh, I think about 6 years ago now too. And I find it very hard to capture my own creativity. After I've played 30 or 40 hours of guitar a week from teaching and gigging, it's really hard for me to want to pick up the instrument and create
just play
from my own space.
Yeah.
So when you were saying that you kind of try to do other things to kind of get outside that box a little bit and then come back in.
Yeah.
So what have you been doing? Besides the production, have you been trying to learn a new instrument or anything?
No, I've been getting into doing some like 3D modeling, some video game development,
That's awesome.
Learning a little bit of like coding, which I've done a little bit, but my brothers are both like genius coders. So just learning like different skills, which all involve me like sitting in front of a computer too. I don't know if that's good, but hiking a lot, camping. What else? But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Do you ever take your guitar with you when you go hiking or camping?
Camping, yeah. Hiking, I don't know about that.
Come on, just hike a 14er, whip out your little travel guitar, play a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. I should try that.
Oh, man. So what are your favorite hiking and camping spots around town?
Colorado Springs. So I lived in Colorado Springs before I just moved up to Denver. There's some great hiking down there. Here, I'm looking forward to exploring a little bit more. I haven't really gotten out much because I just got kind of moved in. Yeah, you have to give me some spots.
Oh, dude, I'm a city slicker to the core. I don't hike. I don't
There you
camp.
go. Well, I live like 15 minutes from Golden. I've heard there's some good stuff over there. So
Yeah, I
check
mean,
that out.
I know there are some really easily accessible places, especially the further west that you live in town. So I mean, it's not like you'll have a hard time finding some little trails, but
No. That's what Google's good for. For sure.
So, I mean, so many people tell me that it's so cathartic and they just love getting out into nature and hiking and camping. But I don't know. For me, it's like, why would I drive 2 hours to walk for 2 hours and then drive 2 hours back? I could just go for a walk around
Fair
City
enough.
Park or around Cheeseman.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm a little bit jaded because, I'm a Denver native. So
Right.
I've kind of
You're
seen
used to all that.
the mountains. I mean, you drive west on any street from my childhood and you can just see the whole entire Rocky Mountain kind of range.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, it's just like, well, I kind of seen it. I used to
Right.
go to Grand Junction all the time to visit my grandparents and
Right.
hike around. So I don't know. People are probably like, Tony, you're freaking crazy, dude. Hiking is the best. But it takes a lot to get me out into a hike.
Yeah, I feel like if you're downtown Denver, you probably got to drive to get to like a nice hike, probably a little bit, maybe 20-30 minutes or something, which is you have to fight the traffic and fight the traffic back. So I understand.
Yeah, it's just not really my thing.
Yeah.
But the last time I did go for a hike, I hiked my first 14er earlier this year in August.
Oh, nice.
And it's for a nonprofit that I'm on the board of. It's for raising money for mental health awareness in youth and teens.
Cool.
So that was like, for a cause like that, I'll get up at 4 a.m. and drive to a 14er and hike it. That's totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I was saying, it takes a lot to get me outside.
For sure. Well, hey, nothing wrong with that.
I mean, I don't know. So, but for you, it's hugely different than in LA, right? LA is quite.
LA
flat.
has some great hikes. You just kind of got to drive a bit, but there's mountains, Santa Monica Mountains, and over near Hollywood, I wouldn't call them mountains compared to here. Call them Santa Monica Mountains.
Big hills.
Big hills, yeah. Basically big hills, but no, there's some great hiking around LA for sure. But you gotta drive a little bit.
Well, what drove you initially to move to Denver from LA then? Because you were there for 20 years.
Yeah, I have a lot of family here, so a lot of family in the area. So I'd come to visit, and then I just really loved like the vibe of Colorado and all the outdoor stuff, and so finally they talked me into it. So I made the move.
You made the move. And here you are.
And I like it's like in the middle of the country, so you can like fly to the East Coast. It's like nice having that.
Yeah.
And you're definitely a little isolated here, but so far I like it.
What about the food difference?
Yeah, there's not LA. That's the best thing about LA, I think, is the food options. Like pretty much anything you'd want to eat, any type of food. But Denver has some good restaurants too, for sure.
Yeah. That's one of my things that I miss though. Is every time I go to the West Coast, like SoCal,
The food,
especially.
the Mexican food. I need to open a Mexican food restaurant just so I can eat it.
Just so you can open a whole entire restaurant just so you can.
Yeah,
eat
exactly.
Where'd all your profits go? Right here.
Right. I ate all of it. Yeah.
Well, what else have you been doing to kind of take care of yourself? Have you been trying to like get outside more? Have you been? I mean, I know you're talking about hiking and whatnot, but what's been like your focal point recently to just really keep yourself grounded, really help yourself move forward?
Yeah. That's a good question. Getting like exercising. I've been using the Calm app to do a little meditating.
Nice.
I don't know if it's meditating, but I just have this woman that talks to me for 10 minutes every day. She's a very calming voice. What else? What else have I been doing? That's pretty much it. Yeah, just work. I work a lot. So that's what I do. Work and then, work some more. I don't know if that's taking care of myself, but yeah.
What time of day do you use the Calm app? Do you have like a specific?
I try to do it in the morning if I can. Yeah. You've been doing some meditating, right? I saw
do.
on your Instagram.
Does she? I mean, are you like closing your eyes and she leads you through something, or is it just you kind of?
She'll tell you like. She'll kind of like there's like the sound of rain in the background, and then like she'll just tell you to like start breathing, and she'll say close your eyes, and she doesn't like hypnotize you, but like and then she'll have like a quick little blurb about something she wants to like share, but it's good. Like, and I've done, some yoga in the past and stuff. So, but it's been good to kind of like just calm your brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Close your eyes. Listen to my voice. Open up your banking app.
Yeah.
Here, enter this routing number.
Right. Apparently, there's like Matthew McConaughey's on that app, the
Oh,
Calm
really?
app, and he can like talk. He has like bedtime stories or something. That he can like. I haven't used it yet, but they have like children's bedtime stories. I think it comes with my health insurance, but I think it's like it's kind of expensive. I think if you don't, but check your health insurance.
Wait,
Audience.
your health insurance seriously has
Yeah,
like
with
money?
Kaiser.
Are you kidding me?
So through Kaiser, yeah, you get a free subscription to Calm.
Okay, let's talk about this because American healthcare is totally shit when it comes to mental health in general. So I'm like really surprised, and I mean I'm very happy that that's part of your health insurance too, because I remember when I was shopping around for a therapist, I called my insurance and I was like, so what do we have in terms of like mental health? And they basically just hung up on me. I was like,
oh,
okay.
really? Damn.
So nothing, I mean, they have all this stuff for preventative care physically,
Right.
but nothing mentally.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. So you just get like an automatic subscription, or you get reimbursed for it, or?
No, you just put in. I don't know how. I forget how it worked, but through Kaiser, you get a code or something like that. But yeah, I've been happy with Kaiser. It's pretty cool. This is an ad for Kaiser and Calm and Matthew McConaughey.
All right.
All right. Yeah.
I think meditation has been so huge. I mean, just anything that I can get my hands on to just really get myself into this new space that where I can fully explore like nothingness for a little bit, for me is huge, because my brain, the type of person I am, I'm a 0 to 60 kind of person. So you get me into anything, and if I'm interested in it at all, then I'm full bore by the end of the day.
Right.
And it's very hard for me to take a step back and really think, oh, is this really healthy for you? Is this something you should be jumping into?
Right.
And I think that that's where meditation for me really comes in, because I sit there for 20 minutes in the morning, and all I want to do is whatever I've been into.
Right.
I want to jump on my computer and start doing some work, or I want to call a friend about this or record some tracks or whatever. But I just know I just need to take time to really assess myself and just take that time to just be like, hey, 20 minutes in the grand scheme of thing is nothing.
Right.
Take this time.
Totally. Yeah. It's just so much, like, we just get bombarded with stuff right when you wake up, you're like bombarded by news and social media and all this stuff. I don't think it's healthy, like, for our brains. So it's good to like just take a break and like try to calm yourself with the Calm app.
Sponsorship.
No.
Do you find yourself looking at your phone like first thing when you wake up?
Yeah, I have like a phone addiction. I think a lot of people do, but I'm like noticing it for sure. Yeah, it's bad.
The worst thing is when my screen pops up and it's like, your screen time has increased by 500% from last week, and I'm like, what the hell?
Right.
Okay, like that's when I delete all my social media apps, and then I like can't see them unless I go onto my computer.
Yeah, that's probably good. I did that too, for sure.
Oh.
But yeah, that stuff's made to be addicting, like Instagram, and it's for sure, it's pretty bad.
So how do you battle trying to be relevant on social media and then not getting roped into being addicted to social media?
It's bad. I don't know. You kind of have to do it, but yeah, it's not an enjoyable thing. Yeah. You should try and find someone who will help you do that stuff, I think is good.
Yeah.
But if you have a budget for that.
Just pay them percentages.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find that every time that I wake up, my first impulse is to not meditate, and so that's when I know I should meditate.
Right.
Because after I do that, then I go, okay, cool. I already spent 20 minutes not doing this other stuff. I can go the rest of the day focusing on things that are more important instead of focusing on this.
Yeah, definitely.
What else have you been Have you been trying anything else besides meditation?
No. Oh, what else? No, not really. Probably want to start doing some yoga again. It's my neck and my back a little tight.
Yeah.
So be good to do.
There's actually there's several great apps, but I use one that's just like, you get to set the type of session you want to do, how long you want to do it,
That's cool.
What you want to focus on my iPad.
Nice.
Cute little lady just showing
Yeah.
me how to do all the poses. Very calming voice.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Nice.
It's just another form of like meditation for me, kind of too. You
Mhm.
know, just try to focus on your breathing and the
Right.
motions. Except for they're like, all right, take one breath here, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
are you kidding me? One breath
Right.
here, like you're running me ragged.
Right. You live
Oh,
a mile
man.
high. You need to breathe more.
Did you notice that as an artist when you moved from LA to Denver? Did you have a tough time singing?
I think at first, yeah, but I kind of gotten used to it. But yeah, definitely.
That's always gets me whenever people come into town and they're playing a gig and they sing and they're just like,
Mm-hmm.
how do you guys do this?
Right.
It's like, well,
Yeah.
we're just lucky that we're acclimated to it already.
Right. Yeah. And it's also really dry here.
Super dry.
Yeah.
I do miss the ocean, although I don't miss humidity.
Mm-hmm.
I could go for something a little bit more between California and Colorado versus. It's not like Arizona dry or anything.
Right.
Like that,
No, it's not too bad.
Well, that's cool, man. Well, where can we find you? Like, where are you gonna be putting out these new albums and everything? Like, what's
You can follow me on Instagram, Jon Licht Music. You can go to jonlicht.com. Yeah, and then I have a bunch of stuff on Spotify. But yeah, if you follow me, Instagram's usually where I kind of post the most stuff. So yeah, Jon Licht Music, JONLICHT, and then jonlicht.com. Trying to jump into Facebook, although Instagram is Facebook, the evil company. But you know, you get
everything social media is gonna be bought by Facebook before you know it. So
yeah, or Amazon. Amazon's gonna buy Facebook, and then Google. It's just gonna be Facebook.
oh my
and
gosh, and then the world's just gonna.
Amazon and Google.
That's when our overlords start coming out, and we all have to get chips. Oh man, that's
all right.
That's a thing that scares me. But that's for a different podcast.
Yeah. I'm gonna bring the people down.
Yeah. So JonLicht.com, Jon Licht Music on Instagram.
Yep.
And I've seen you post a lot of cool stuff. You've been doing some music videos and whatnot. And
Yeah, I did a song with this Brazilian DJ. His name is Walsh. Through this label called Syrup Music. They're like a from Sweden or Switzerland. And then, but yeah, look out for Katie Stanley too. So we're gonna be. This album's pretty amazing that she's doing. So
where can we find that?
I think her Instagram is Katie Stanley Music, at Katie Stanley Music.
I can only imagine that you'll be promoting a little bit on your channels and
Yeah,
whatnot too. So,
yeah, okay.
Okay.
For sure. So you can find that through there. But yeah,
definitely want to check it out.
Definitely.
And then when you get a live band, like let me know too, because I want to come see you guys play. And
yeah,
and let's talk about some live performance opportunities as well. Cause
sounds good.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Jon, thanks so much for being on the Flow Within with me, dude. It was just good catching up with you and just kind of getting some insight into what's been going on lately.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Flow Within. I'm your host, Tony G. We'll see you next time.